Hi Aquarius, here's a general look at your solar chart for September 2013, and relationships are going to be very important this month, I think. Special relationships, partnerships, but also those fleeting close relationships as well. So they can be long-term ones or short-term ones, but those close interactions will be strongly highlighted. Until the 23rd, it's a kind of a time for shifting from one thing to the next, and you could be more conscious of the material financial side of things, the property side of things, and also treading a little bit more carefully, because being more aware of what other people's needs might be, other people's feelings might be, other people's requirements might be, and whether that's because you know them personally or maybe it's some kind of outside agency. So what the rules are, what the regs are, the regulations are. So it can be like that, but it can also be, you know, you being more sensitively attuned to somebody else's schedule, scenario, whatever's going on for them. And then from the 23rd, the sun goes into a more freewheeling area, a more expansive area, which boosts the spirits, helps you to push the envelope. You're getting into environments, or you should be really, that are outside of the routine, mundane, daily grind, and definitely feeling this sense of space coming in, expansion, and increasing opportunities for you to get out and about more and try new things, plunge into new territories, or into something that you're learning, you know, that refreshes your mind, refreshes your spirit, and also connecting with people at a distance is very much on the agenda as well. Travel is also on the menu for some of you if you want to go that way with this energy. And then until the 9th, Mercury, just to mention, Mercury's in the same place as the Sun, and that means that your discussions, your conversations, your ideas, your research could be strategic, and you're planning ahead, but also could be very much bouncing ideas, or consulting with another. Maybe they're consulting with you, but it has to, you know, it gets quite intricate. Maybe it gets a little bit involved or confidential. And your thinking could be focusing again on the financial angle, or to do with property, to do with agreements or contracts of some kind. You could be sleuthing at this time, and doing a bit of detective work at this time, and listening to your gut knowing at this time. And it's likely that you'll be very keen or even quite passionate about someone or something, or on the flip side, it's probably easier for somebody to touch a nerve with you, touch your buttons. Then push your buttons rather. Then from the 9th to the 29th, Mercury goes into the same area, so ahead of the Sun really. The Sun goes into this area that I described earlier on the 23rd, but Mercury goes into this area on the 9th, so gets there before the Sun, focusing your mind more on those at a distance, travel plans, or travel itself, or another environment, distant horizon, fresh potential. You know, definitely a good time to refresh yourself and think in new, fresh colors, and a plan may be forming in your mind. And there may be a breath of air from further afield, or strange news from another planet even. So anyway, there could be teaching here, or a teacher figure that is prominent in your life at this time, somebody from whom you can gain advice, but also somebody perhaps is relying on you in that way, and you are giving them the lowdown. You're giving them the benefit of your knowledge, experience, know-how, and also putting the word out on a wider stage. Some of you could be putting your ideas out there in a bigger way, beating the drum on something. Be the guide or the guided, the informed or the informer. Some of you may be looking into the legal side of things at this time as well. Now, Venus, until the 11th, places and faces at a distance, may have a personal relationship element to them, and you could be connecting in a very friendly, warm, even loving way with somebody at a distance, or if you are traveling or mixing with a foreign culture, a relationship could spring up there, or indeed you're connecting with people that you've already have a relationship with, or maybe it's in an academic environment or an advice-giving environment, ditto for that. And you're more likely to connect with knowledge or expertise, which gives you a more balanced perspective, which lets you join up the dots and get the overview. So Venus, the great balancer in this area here, can be useful. An important relationship may be linked to an educational environment or a foreign culture. Publications or education could relate to an area of interest, and also somebody could be very supportive for that. If you are putting anything out there in the way of broadcasting, publishing, that kind of thing, or just putting the word out on something like a post-it note in the post office or something. It's a good moment though to launch into something which expands your experience and expands your horizons, so especially through relationships, I have to say. So cast your nets wide, Aquarius. And then from the 11th, Venus comes to the top of your solar chart. This is a great place because it means that anything along the professional lines, or with authority figures or bureaucracy or parental figures, will tend to go your way, or at least provide you with that feeling of a bit of a boost, or that you have an ally there. So whether that's a parent or somebody else in a so-called position of power and authority, they're likely to be more supportive and more facilitating of your goals. So watch out for that one. And somebody could be just giving you a hand and a word in your ear, maybe, which will send you off in the right direction on something and help you to make the right move or to create the right impression, which would help you to climb the ladder of success. And you could be having a more positive interaction with bosses, guides, teachers, even officials, parental figures, and also you yourself could be seen more as the parental figure, the guide, the boss, and helping others to obtain or attain their aims and ambitions and goals, things that they want to do in their life, in this quite sort of short-term kind of sense. And then, but watch out for around about the 18th, 19th, when there could be more pressure on you there. You've got to take things more seriously there. It's a bit harder work relating with another. And this is due to Venus flitting across the degree of Saturn in the sky. It doesn't last too long, but it could be more challenging emotionally or even financially for that brief moment. Best not to schedule anything major and spend more time with yourself, because there's just and if you can't, then just don't expect too much from other people. Don't expect them to be able to extend their energies, or just be there for you really as much as you'd like, perhaps on those 2 days there. The Mars position means that interactions with others will be more dynamic. But because of an agenda of another, you could be working harder. Because of their schedule, because of their requirement, you could be working harder. So just be careful that you don't get tired out because of the physical demands put on you. Also, there could be lively conversations. You could even cross swords with somebody. And you may enjoy that, though, a little bit of mental mental fencing with somebody else. And another way this can work, somebody can feel a very strong pull towards you, and you can feel a strong pull towards them, for good or ill, whatever the reason. And once again, patience may be needed. Mars can be a little bit hasty, so you might handle somebody badly, or be too brusque or short with them, or indeed jump in, feet first, without really thinking this relationship through, or what you're going to do in this particular relationship, or at this particular moment in this particular relationship. So the advice would be to just try and keep lines of communication open in a friendly way. Keep things on an even keel, but don't get too hot under the collar or dive in headfirst at full revs until you're certain about maybe what somebody needs at this time, or what somebody's thinking, or where they're coming from, or what their agenda is, or whatever it's about. But overall, cooperative interactions with others should go well, and particularly with those more authority type figures, those bosses or parental type figures, and can be beneficial and fruitful. Sometimes you'll just have to maybe slow down a bit and understand, almost like walk in their shoes, and don't let somebody else run you ragged either, because you're trying too hard on their behalf. But listen for feedback for whatever's going on now, because even though it might be sort of, hitting you over the head with the truth, it's useful. Now, Jupiter will be in your area of health and work until next July, and there's going to be no shortage of doors opening in your work area, Aquarius, and you're going to be able to grow through employment matters, professional in a sort of career sense, but also through co-workers, colleagues. And if it's not in a career sense, then just daily duties, chores, tasks, training in something, maybe skills, maybe you've got to blow the dust off, or maybe just learn new ones and put some new strings to your bow. But also all that's related to health matters as well, your own health or somebody else's health. And so in this area, Jupiter's really teaching you how to manage this area, either related to the job, the day job, or if it's not, like the major job, and what you've chosen to do on a daily basis in a personal sense, but also with health, yours or somebody else's. And the indications are that you will get the chance to experience new methods, maybe firsthand, because you are learning through doing with Jupiter here, of working on a daily basis in a mundane sort of a way in those areas that I've mentioned. And you Aquarians born the 1st to the 7th of February, or with 13 to 19 degrees rising, are going to feel this energy the most this month. Saturn is transiting a long transit until 2015 up at the top of your chart, and slowly this is going to help you redefine your place in the world. Your image and your life direction, maybe, Aquarius, is gradually changing with Saturn here. This is the time for the harvest, so it's really to capitalize on what's gone before, and you'll reap what you have sown in the past years. So that can be for good or ill. If you've been a good Aquarian, then you will be really glad of this harvest that you're coming into now. But either way, you know, if you cut corners and sort of procrastinated or kind of brush things under the rug, maybe you're going to have to work a bit harder. But it is the time of the harvest, so you will be either way restructuring your outer and inner world in gradual steps during that transit. And if you're old enough, look back 28.5 years and see what you were doing then, and then you'll get the gist of what's going on now and what you did next. But the context might change, but the actual vibrational effect of the energy, or should I say just the weather system coming in, is the same, even though you're older and wiser, of course. And yeah, it can be quite an eye-opener. And you Aquarians born between the 26th and the